All right, guys. So today's meeting, we're going to talk about three different things. We're going to talk about our flat tire list, our referrals, and writing our own app, and the importance of all three things. And they all kind of come together. Some of these things are going to be for people that are newer. And then some of the things like the flat tire list is something that doesn't matter how long we've been here, we really need to be doing and going back through and figuring out who are those people that we need to be able to be helping, right? Um, and what I'm going to do, Ashley, I know that you sent it to me. Would you put that flat tire list in the chat for me? Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate you. So there is, it's a list where you can go through. So I'm going to talk a little bit about these three things here to start, and then is what we're going to do. So what is a flat tire list? A flat tire list is the people that you would call if you had a flat tire. Who are the people on your list that are closest to you that you can help? And it isn't just about life insurance. It's also about, like we talk about, getting people out of debt in 9 years or less without paying a dime more than you are now. It's about people rolling over their 401ks that they have that they're not contributing to anymore. So it's talking about those people on the list and letting them know who you are. I mentioned today in accountability that we had a when back in let's see, sorry, Linda, I'm just going to mute you, my friend. Go. Back in 2021, when Brian and I went to Knoxville for the conference, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today as well. Jamie, Susie, and Sarah Reineke were dressed up in black suits, black hats, black glasses, men in black, because they were hiding who they are. And we do that in the life insurance world. We tend to not tell the people we know who we are. We are men in black. We secret agents. Where now we're not just doing, and we talk about this on the group interviews, we're not just doing a final expense, which was what people think about for burial insurance or mortgage protection. You are a full service agency. I talk about it in our group interviews, but now that you're here, I want to talk about it more in depth about the fact that you are full service. When you're talking to somebody or helping them on that flat tire, you need to talk about all the things that you have available to you to be able to help them. And we'll dig into that particular piece. Then we're going to talk a little bit about your own application. So what I want to do before we get into that, I want to kind of break it down and we'll dig into it. Marisa's already done that. So big round of applause. Marisa, great job. Went in, did the risk assessment, did what she needed to do, and wrote an application on herself. This is protecting you and your family. Now, the important part of this, and again, we'll dig into it a little bit deeper, is that when you write the application on yourself, you don't get the advanced piece, but you're still getting paid. They're going to still pay you. It's controlled business, but let's say it's $100 a month and your contract is 80% and you're getting paid the 80% on that particular one. Let's say it's a term Banner. I'm going to use it as an example. It's $100 a month. You're going to pay Banner $100 a month. And they're going to, in a couple days, they're going to give you $80 back. So for the first year, you're just going to be paying a small amount to get your friend and family covered. And then it's what they call controlled business. But if you write that application, you're getting yourself covered and you're still getting paid on it. You just don't get paid in advance. And then the last piece that we're going to dig into, and then Ashley was doing some research for us today, and I'm going to reach out to him. There's a gentleman by the name of Jesse Bachrock, and he is the king of referrals. And we don't do a good enough job, any one of us, including myself, when you're done, you're excited. I just wrote that application. This is great. And you get off the phone. Instead of actually asking the question, who do you know now that I can help? Who else can I get out of debt? Who else can I protect their mortgage? Who else can I help roll over a 401k now that we've been able to help you or refer you to our SME? So it's us asking the questions. You have one client. Jesse believes that with every client that you write, you get 4 more clients. He doesn't even have to go out and be shopping and doing any of that anymore, as far as, because he's just got a continuous business going on because he's asked for so many referrals and people are coming back to him now. So that's the breakdown of the day. And Brian's going to work on my computer. So I apologize that I'm moving around in slow motion like Max Headroom over here. Anybody even knows who that is? Chris, I want to kind of pass it over to you now. Who said that? Oh, there's Leandra. Leandra, there you are. Thank you, my friend. Chris, why don't I bring you in and let's talk a little bit. I would think what we'll do is banter a bit today, but I want you to follow up on those 3 things before we start digging into each one of them individually.
Yeah. One of our cornerstones is belief in what you're selling. And you believe in it enough that you have products on yourself, you have your immediate family, you have your friends and family covered. And the reality of this business is if you don't check those boxes, your odds of success are pretty much nil. Meaning, if you're not, at least, it doesn't mean you actually have to sell anything to your friends and family. If they have stuff covered and they're good, that's fine. But if you're not at least having the conversation and offering it to them, probably not going to be very successful. And if we dig into reasons why, and I know Sean, I won't go too far down this rabbit trail, but we got to take a look in the mirror. If we're not willing to have those conversations, there's probably a level of lack of belief in ourselves. There's going to be it's going to be a self-esteem issue. And the good thing is that's fixable. Those are things that we can work on. Those are things that you can improve. But if you're not willing to reach out to those around you, your circles of influence, your flat tire list, again, I love that word picture because that's super simple. Who are the 10 people that if you had a flat tire, you could call, text, day or night, 2 a.m. in the morning, and they are coming to bail you out. They're coming to help you change your tire. They're coming to pick you up. They're coming to move you somewhere. They're bringing help as soon as you let them know that you've got a problem. Those people you need to be reaching out to, and I challenge everybody to go back and listen to that call last week. It was last week or the week before. I lose track of time here, but the framework that they laid out was about as simple as I've ever heard it laid out, and honestly, it was a training for me. Because honestly, we've used that in the past, but we've used it kind of from a sales approach. Go talk to your 10 friends and family about selling insurance, and the way they frame it, it's go talk to your 10 friends and family, and tell them what you do, and tell them that you need to practice. And that's a lot easier to have that conversation than to go out and try to sell to 10 friends and family. But bottom line, regardless of your approach, if you're not willing to check up on those closest to you, and keep in mind, if you believe in what we do and the impact that it has, and you may have to go watch some impact stories. You may have to jump on YouTube. You may have to go on socials, listen to some people that talk about who've had a claim paid out to them from the loss of a family member and what that's done for them and why they were moved to make that decision and what kind of impact it's had after the fact. Like, you have to get a deep belief in this product, in this service that we offer, understand the level of impact that you have. And if you believe enough in it, you should have no problems going out to the ones that are closest to you and helping them out. So I went on a little bit of a rant there, Sean. If you want to redirect me, feel free.
No, that's good. It's talking about that flat tire list. I want to dig into it a little bit deeper. So as an example, I want everybody for a moment to, you'll be surprised at how many contacts are in your phone. We've all been in some form of business at some point. We've been, that list of people over the years continues to get longer and longer. So we talk about what Chris and I are talking about is that flat tire list. Who are the people that you would reach out to if you had a flat tire, like you said, being bailed out, whatever it is that you're doing. But you have so many contexts. You have a way of being able to start that business. And the reason we're talking about it today is we don't talk about it enough. Do we talk about the leads? Yes. And do we need to do that? Yes. But it's also about the context you already have, letting people know you're not just a life insurance agent. You are you are an advisor. You are here to be able to advise and help people no matter what that is. Make that list. Is it final expense? Is it mortgage protection? Is it debt-free life? Is it infinite banking? Is it 401k rollovers? And letting people know, this is what I'm doing now. This is who I am now. This is the business that I'm in at this particular point. And letting them know. And even if in the message, if you can't help them, would you mind letting other people know that this is what I'm doing now? So that way I'm able to help other people in your group of people, especially the people that you know that already trust you. The friends and family and the people in your context that you've already done business with and that you already trust you, it's getting out there and letting them know. We just can't be the secret agents anymore. You want to build this thing, you 100% can build this thing. Here's the next step in that context. I want to go into for a moment, and Chris, I want to kind of talk a little bit about this also. This is your business. This is not just you I keep saying it over and over, and I need to do a better job as well. Brian and I have owned businesses before in the past. And when we owned those businesses, what did we do? We couldn't just walk inside the store and expect for people to walk through that door. We had to become part of the chamber, home-based business, where you're located, $200 to $300 on average per year to be a home-based business at the chamber. Now you can advertise on their Facebook page. You can advertise. You can go to their events that they're having. You can see things. Brian, anybody in here, Brian will help you as far as we can get graphics together, go into HQ, they've got it. But if you need something with your logo and built on there to be able to go and set up, you can order all of that through Canva. You can order it and go and be part of those events and letting people know who you are. That's one thing. There's local marketing if you want to get into. There's local events and like things set up where you can go and set up for $100, $50 and set up and let people know who you are. This is your business. And that's why we're talking about it, is going out and letting people know who you are. Again, we don't talk about that enough. You guys will hear me ad nauseum talk about the fact that this is a franchise. You can end up owning this. So any of you that are new here and don't know some of us who we are, Chris, you can go and be to 130% inside this company. Chris is the guy. That's the guy. In our agency, in our team, Chris is the guy that's at the top of the company. He's at 130, right? I'm using this as an example to show you where you can go. I'm at 110 and an agency owner. You can end up owning it and getting a document that says you own this agency. It is yours. It is your business to build how you want. I'm Cochran and Vote Financial. Chris is the Menifee agency. Addie Pinkston is the Addie Pinkston agency. You can name it what you want, but now it's going to work in building it. So the thing is flat tire, contacts in your phone, become part of events. Because the thing is if you went to work somewhere else and you're working, I'm going to use New York Life for a moment. I know the regulations because I went there. And what you have to do, you're regulated under New York Life. Here, you're not regulated under New York Life. No, there are guidelines. You can't go out and go for a free-for-all, but you are licensed with each one of these carriers, and now you're a full-service agency. One of the things Chris talks about, find the 3 or 4 carriers, find the 2 or 3 carriers that you like to work with best to be able to write your business. But it is your business and your agency to be able to help people. So find ways to be able to build your agency. There are some people that actually open offices. I'm not telling you to go do that. But there are some people when they get to a particular point that they can go because you can. Now you're licensed with Americo and Mutual of Omaha and Fidelity and Guarantee and Banner Life. You are contracted with them, so you have a full service agency. Chris, I want to, if you want to kind of follow up on that piece about this, really emphasizing that this is a business, that they can build this business as well as the things that we give them and Symmetry gives us as well.
Yeah, and that's a great point, Sean. I think a lot of times we treat this as a kind of work from home lotions and potions business. I'm going to sell soap. I'm going to, whatever, sell collectibles from my house. Guys, this is a multi-trillion-dollar industry. We're in an industry that is one of the pillars of our financial system. And, in a sense, we got to treat it like a business. Doesn't mean now here's the advantage. You can absolutely go open an office. I personally wouldn't. That's just my choice because I don't want the overhead. I don't need to. Like I've been able to build this business for 10 years now from the same spot in just outside a town in Missouri. Like that's what I've done. And you all can do the exact same thing. If you like the idea of getting out of the house and you've got screaming kids around, you want the peace and quiet of an office and be able to do that, absolutely go for it. But you don't need to. But what you do need to do, again, you have to take this and treat it as a business, which means, Sean, if you and you talk about owning, I think it was a furniture store or something similar in the past,
Uh-huh.
and like if you went and rented a building and put a sign out and then opened the doors and that's all you did, and people walked in and there's bare floors and they're looking around, it's like, well, where's the furniture? Well, we just, yeah, we're going to buy it. Like once you ask for it, we'll buy it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that doesn't work. You got to have inventory. You got to have display. You've got to have all the things, and a traditional business like that, there's a ton of overhead. Well, our business runs the same way, but in a little bit more advantageous way. Number one, we don't have to have a retail location, so we don't have to have that overhead. Number two, our inventory is leads after you've gone through and worked your flat tire list, which we're encouraging to do. Your flat tire list is going to fund your lead bill. But your leads, Sean, I don't know if you've ever bought a very nice couch or chair and spent $50 to put that on your showroom. But the idea that you could buy a lead for $50 to buy 10 leads for 500, like where can you go that you can start a business? And I think the problem is a lot of people come to us, they've worked for somebody else. And somebody else has made those $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 decisions. And if all you've ever done is shown up because they said to show up at 9 o'clock and leave at 5 o'clock, and they give you X amount of dollars per hour, every hour, no matter what, whether you do a crappy job or whether you do the best job in the world, we have to have a mindset shift when we walk in the door here. You're now a business owner. And I don't care if you have no interest in building an agency or a team. We could talk about that. I encourage you to do it. It's an awesome thing that is available to everybody here, but you don't have to. You still own a business. You're an army of one now. You're now the Jerry Points agency. You're now the Linda Scott agency. You're now the Addie Pinkston agency. You are a business entity, and it is now up to you to decide how you're going to run that business. Are you going to run it on a shoestring? Like if I drove up and down the street and decided I wanted to, pull couches off the curb and bring them to my furniture store to try to sell them, I could do that and maybe I'll make some money, but it's going to be a slow, long slog, and I'm going to be making, 10, $15 a time if I'm lucky. Or I can invest in the best inventory on the market, and I can have people coming to me who are raising their hand asking for the very products that I'm selling. That's our business proposition here. And we have to drop into that mindset as business owners. And I get it. If you've worked for somebody else, they've made all those decisions in the past. That's a tough shift, but that's a shift that can be made. And again, you have control over that. I think too many times, again, especially if you work for somebody else, you've had somebody else telling you what to do, when to do it, and how to do it.
Yeah.
We have to be able to recognize that nobody here is going to tell you what to do, when to do it, how to do it. We're going to give you guidance. We're going to tell you what we know that works. But at the end of the day, it's up to you to jump on that computer, make that lead order, to pick up the phone, to make those dials, to get hooked up on funnels so you can send those texts and do more with less time. All those are going to be your decisions. And to the level that you decide, whether you decide to dip your toe in the water, well, if you dip your toe in the water, you get small results. And look, maybe that's what you need to do to start out with, and that's totally fine. But at some point, you're going to have to dive in. Like if you're ever going to get anywhere, you're going to have to dive in. You're going to have to get head first, in the deep end and figure this thing out. The good thing is you got lifeguards all around you. We're not going to let you drown. We're here to help you, but you're going to have to get in.
Love it.
There, John, another rant. So take
No,
that.
it's good. I want to follow up because as you're talking and we're going through our list, you're raising other things as well. So we have a couple different things, especially you guys, and I'm going to give kudos to the people that are showing up in those. And I'm going to throw a couple things out there, and that's running your business, right? See names in here. I mean, I'm going to go around here for a moment. Maria Gresham, Maria Pantel, Linda Scott, Jerry Points, Addie Pinkston, Marisa White. You guys are getting into the dial room when Wendy is dialing and listening to her dial. There's nobody better if you want to become a master of your craft of being able to write many applications. That is the place to get into. And she's doing that every day from anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. So if you haven't got in there yet and you're new enough that you haven't, get in and listen to Wendy live dial. It is going to help you with your craft. Number one, very important. Number two, we have accountability in the morning. If you're not already on that accountability, not getting in there, get into that accountability just because the message. This morning we had Sarah Reinecke. Some of you know who she is, some of you don't at this point. But she came in as a school teacher, and man, I'll tell you what, she took off and went to the races. So she was in accountability this morning, and she was talking about how everybody in her team, she's got them getting into that accountability. It is a mindset shift at 9 a.m. in the morning Eastern. We got people that are in California at 6 a.m. and they're in that accountability because they want that piece. Then we're going over our numbers, and our numbers are our report card. But that's part of running your business. That's what we're talking about right now. We're going to go back, but I want to just emphasize that those two particular pieces you need to be in accountability. You need to be listening to Wendy. Wendy, I know you're driving. You might not be able to, but do you want to just kind of say anything about being in the dial room and getting in and listening to you dial during the day?
I'm so rattled right now because of the snake in my backyard. I'm so sorry. I apologize. I hate snakes. This is the second one in 2 days, and I almost needed someone to do CPR, and no one's there to kill it, and I can't kill it. I'm not brave enough to kill it. I can talk to people on the phone, but I can't kill a snake. But besides that,
I didn't announce that yet. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm so sorry I'm late.
That's all right.
Dialing is the most important thing. I just had a coaching call with someone prior to me seeing the darn snake in my backyard. And I just emphasized trusting us enough to us help you. You have to help you. And we don't know how to help if you don't tell us. And if you're showing up every day and you are moving, we are here to help you 100% of the way. And I also said, I feel like I've done a little bit of a disservice just working digital leads. So I am going to earmark time every time I dial to work old mortgage protection leads, because this is where everybody starts, just so you can get a feel of how we work those objections. Because just because someone says they don't live there or they're good, that's just giving us a foot in the door to be able to say something and have a conversation with them. So super important just to be engaged. We can't say it enough that this business is caught, not taught. So just show up and let us help you. That's it.
Oh, I love it, Wendy. Thank you for
and
sharing
do not
that.
bring snakes around me. I hate snakes.
Oh, that's great.
All right, I'll see you later.
All right, thanks. So Brian, can you put that in the chat? I know we have it in the group me, but can you just copy and paste that into the chat for the dial session for Wendy tomorrow, or the graphic, please? Thank you. So moving on, let's go on to your own app and how important that is at protecting your own family. And again, we're not asking you to just go do a term policy. Maybe that's what you need. Maybe it is a term policy that you need to protect your family with living benefits. But what about looking at an IUL? Americo has a very easy process to be able to protect your family, and any one of us can help you. If you decide that you want to do that, let me know. I'll take the time to be able to help you go through that process. Right? We'll figure it out. We'll find a time, and especially if it's an IUL. But if any one of us can help you, Addie, Jerry, all of us, right? But protecting your family, making it where you've got, if you want the IUL cash gains, Marissa's setting up an appointment with me. We're working on it. She wants to be able to do a debt-free life for her family. Chris talked about it last week. So I'm going to be able to help her with her family on a debt-free life. But find something that's going to help you. And then I want to jump into that particular piece. What are the benefits to this? Number one, the most important benefit is you're going to protect your family and you're going to help yourself. And not only if you pass away, you're going to have living benefits to protect you while you're still living. If God forbid you have a heart attack or a stroke, if they have the living benefits on it. But let's talk about promotions. All right. So most of you are at a spot where you can get slingshot 85, 90, 95%. And you need to write an application. Like this month, we're past that at this point. If you haven't already been running, you have to have 4 to 5 weeks. We're going to be running into June. So let's talk about June for a moment. You need to write 3 out of 4 weeks an application. You writing an application on yourself qualifies. It's a controlled business, but it still is an application that you can qualify for to be able to get slingshot. Now you need to have, if you're trying to go for 85%, and there are a few people in here going for that, you need to have 5,000 in place business. Or if you're trying to get from 85 to 90, you need to have 7,500 in place business. But if you're beginning, you're at 80, and you want to get to that next 85%, we talked about it. There's a calculator inside HQ when you get in there. It's called Income Calculator. Go in there and put in the difference between 80, 85, 90, and 95%, and the difference on how much less you either have to write to make the same amount of money you want, or how much more money you can be making by writing the same business, just by getting those 5% raises that you get to do on your own. Nobody's getting to tell you that you can't have it. You get to do it. So writing an application on yourself is going to protect your family. It's going to help yourself if you get sick. It's mostly going to be paid for. You're just paying a very small amount for that first year. So you're covered to be able to do that. And you're working towards one of your applications towards your slingshot. Chris, I want to kind of bring you in on this, on the writing your own application piece, if you would please.
It starts with belief in the products that you offer. I was thinking the other day, I was talking with somebody that owned a dealership. What kind of belief if I'm talking to a Ford dealer and I look out and he goes out of his office and jumps in his GMC pickup, or worse yet, goes out and jumps in an Uber, so believe in what you sell. That's kind of a silly example, but I mean, the point is, if you're going to be talking to somebody else, you're going to be telling them, hey, you need this. Hey, this is important. This is important for your family. And you don't have it for yourself. I don't care that they're not going to ask you if you have it or not. You don't have it. And we know for a fact that doesn't translate well. People who don't have products on themselves do not succeed in this business. Again, because it comes down to belief. And, ever agents say, well, I got to talk to my spouse about it. I got to talk to whoever and make sure that they're going to be okay. I'm like, if you can't convince them, how are you going to convince a lead of somebody who clicked on an internet ad, wants to buy insurance, but is not sure if they really need it? If you can't convince yourself and you can't convince your spouse or your significant other, whoever, that this is important, sorry, you don't have a snowflake's chance in hell of convincing a stranger. That's just not going to happen. So it comes down to belief. Now, again, going back to professionalism, every one of you on this screen should be overinsured. I say that half jokingly, not overinsured, but you should be at maximum coverage. Like you should be doing a needs analysis and you should be covering yourself to the fullest. Like if you need $1 million of insurance, you should have somehow $1 million worth of insurance on yourself and on your family. It shouldn't be $100,000 accidental death policy. Because again, I've seen it. I've seen agents that come in and I talk to them, how much coverage do you have? Oh, I bought a $100,000 policy on myself. Okay, well, it's a good start, but I also know that you've got 5 kids and 3 ex-wives. So like, what are we going to do about that? And well, I can't afford it. Okay, well, if you're going to tell me you can't afford it again, we're going to right back to the same conversation. You're going to talk to a stranger who's telling you they can't afford it. And what are you going to do to overcome that? You can't overcome your own stuff. So that's it, guys. It's important. It's fundamental. It is fundamental to success in this business. But more importantly, it's fundamental to this is what we do. We put coverage on people, and if we can't cover ourselves, we're not going to have success in this business. That's just the cold hard truth.
I love it. I love it, Chris. It's good. I'm laughing. I remember me rewriting. It was actually me rewriting an application at one point on Brian with us back and forth, and he saw that where it came through for him to sign it, and he's like, "We need to have a conversation. Like, should I be worried you're having so much life insurance on me?" But you're right. When you work here, you believe in what you do, and we start writing, and having the insurance to be able to take care of our families. That's the biggest important. But you here.
Can I say something real quick before this game starts?
No, go
Don't
ahead.
be like me. I knew my husband needed a cancer policy and took so much time. Like we have plenty of life insurance, but I had a gut feeling that eventually Ryan would get cancer, and I didn't finish the policy. And guess what? 3 months later, he was diagnosed with cancer. And I don't say, I mean, not everybody knows that. I talk about it all the time, because it's a teachable moment.
Yeah.
You having coverage on you and your family matters. You having coverage on your children matters. Like, God forbid, what if they get cancer one day when they're children? They can't get covered when they're adults. They need children's policies. Like, these are all things we don't think about, but it's all things that I have encountered, like with my life. I have a nephew that was just diagnosed nonverbal autistic. Thank God we put a participating whole life in policy in place for him when he was born. So these are just things that are super important, and we don't always think about it. So that's the reason why I bring it up, is because if we can help ourselves, we can help everybody else.
Thank you, Wendy, for adding that. And that's so good. And that opens something up. What Wendy was talking about that some of you don't realize is when you're part of Mutual of Omaha, as an example, Mutual of Omaha, that's what she's talking about. You can write a heart attack stroke policy on somebody. You can write a cancer policy on somebody. You can write a dental plan on somebody. I mean, you have a lot of opportunity when you are working with, for example, all the companies we have. That's why I say to you, we don't even talk about that, but it's a full service agency. Wendy was talking about children's policies. We have a lot of different options where you can help people with very small amount per month to be able to write a children's policy on somebody, to be able to help them when it's time to go to college or time to continue where they at what Wendy was just talking about. Now he's covered. It gives him a guaranteed insurability, right? So these are the things. We're not just selling life insurance. We're changing people's lives. That's in all these different things. And you are full service when you're a part of this. I want to go on to referrals. and talk a little bit about referrals and how important they are in our business. So it's you when you're on the call. One of the things that we don't do, and that's where we're going to get it. Ash has already put it in there for you to be able to watch one of Jesse's videos. I'll look and see. We protect families. Absolutely, Wendy. Yes, 100%. We protect families. That's what we're here for, is to be able to do that on a regular basis. And back to that belief. But the referral piece to it, going back to us, and it's our business. Now, not only are you now going out and where we were talking about it in the beginning, about it being your business and marketing, getting part of events. Ash, I don't know if you didn't see it in there, but Ash put in there about going and doing veterans events. Being part of that and doing that particular piece. So that way you're letting them know that you can help them. And then at that point, you've got a one-on-one, face-to-face to be able to get and talk to somebody and be able to help them and get them covered. And then from there, after someone starts to trust you, what's happening? You're building your business. You're becoming their agent, not just the agent. Some of you, Addie and Leandra, are also in real estate, right? They know about building. They have to build. It's referrals. I've helped you. Who else can I help now? But it's just us asking that question. You've already helped them. It's so simple at that point. That's where Jesse really digs in. And I don't do it enough. But it's another piece that costs you nothing except for asking a question to be able to start building your book of business, which is exactly what we're trying to do here. Building your business and building your book of business at the same time. Chris, do you want to follow up on that piece, on the referral piece?
Yeah, a couple things. There was a study done a few years ago by Sandler Sales System that they found 60% of people were willing to give a referral if they were just asked.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. They didn't talk about the way they were asked. They didn't talk about a certain script they used. They just, if 60% of people were willing to give a referral if they were just asked. Now there are ways that obviously we can influence that, and we had a great call on that on Wednesday. I believe it was Wednesday. Again, losing time here, but Miss Cleveland on the call on Wednesday was talking about how she's getting 2 referrals every meeting. Jesse getting referrals every meeting. And the only difference, and I heard it from Jesse, and I heard it from, I believe it was Shaniqua. Is that Shaquina? Sorry, Shaquina, I think. Yeah, I messed up.
Yep.
She talked about it. She said, I just finally got serious about learning how to do it. And the reason why we don't do it is because we don't take the time to learn how to do it. And it's not that complicated. Pick your script, pick a couple scripts, try one. If you don't like it, try another one. Just keep trying them until you get some traction. The reason why we don't do it is because we just don't take the time to learn it and implement it into our sales process and our sales system. But if we keep in mind, 60% of the people will give us a referral. If you talk to 10 people and 6 of them gave you a referral, that's 6 leads. How much are our leads again? Talk about a call-in, a lead. Talk about a lighthouse at $30 a piece, and rough estimate there. 6 of those, $180. You won't ask a question for $180.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. And I'm just assuming that you get 1. What happens if you get 5? One of those people gives you 5 referrals.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it just comes back to being a professional. Are we going to be professionals, or are we going to be order takers? Are we going to be salespeople? So, and there's guys, I'm not going to take any time to talk about how to do it, because there's tons of training around symmetry. There's tons of training go Jeremy Minor, go listen to Tommy Hopkins, the old school guys. Go listen to Zig Ziglar. Go listen to the person that resonates with you. It's out there. If you're willing to take the time to invest and do it, it's there. What's it worth to you? You know, I think too many times we are blessed to have a lead system, but I think we're also a little bit cursed to have a lead system. But for some reason, for some agents, the mentality is it's easier for me to go drop $500 than it is to ask an extra question. You know, and hey, if you get results with that and that's how you want to do it, I'm not, you know, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying your business is not as profitable as the person that's taking the time to slow down and ask one or two more questions. They're
Right.
making more money than you are. But if you're fine with that, that's fine. But I think for most of us on this call here, if we can add that to our sales process, and it's in there, it's in the script. And again, you can personalize that part of it however you want. But if we're willing to ask one more question, spend a little bit more time, you know, assume the posture that they're going to give us a referral, you'd be amazed at how profitable your business gets quickly.
It's interesting about the referral piece, Chris. There was a study, and they talked about it's 4 times more likely that a referral, when you drop a name, hey, Mrs. Pinkston, Chris, your friend Chris, just referred me to and told me that I should follow up with you about being able to protect you with life insurance. I was able to protect Chris, and Chris told me that I should get in contact with you to see if I might be able to help you. We're a full service agency here. Do you have a few moments? Well, now Chris referred, Addie knows Chris, whereas when you're first calling and you're starting your call, which we have to do, that's part of our business, and that's a big part of our business. But like Chris just said, why can't we be picking up more? You're leaving money and business on the table by not asking that question. And you're now leveraging the fact that someone just gave you a referral and you're able to use their name by being able to do that.
John,
All right.
just last thing on that real quick. If we could reframe
Yeah.
the lead system is there to design to help you build a base of clientele. Lead system is not an indefinite source of business for you. It's always there. You could tap into it any time. What it's designed, though, is to get you an established base of clientele. Because once you have, you know, 100, 200 clients on the books, that becomes a self-sustaining business. Because if you treat it as a business, again, are these sales or are they clients? Because if they're clients, and you work it as clients and you're checking back in with them every year, you're just seeing how things are going, you're going to pick up additional business because life changes. People die, people get married, babies are born, businesses are sold, new jobs are taken. Like, keep it like big picture. Look at what leads are there. Leads are there. Like if you moved into a brand new city and had no contacts, leads are going to make sure that you don't sink in this business.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're running your business 10 years later on leads, you've missed the entire point. Leads are there to build you a basic clientele to go back and continuing servicing those folks and gaining referrals from those people.
That's right. It's the base of building your business. It's what you do to get the business off the ground and really get it going. 100%. I love that, Chris. Chris, I want to get into, so we've gone over our flat tire, we've gone over referrals, writing your own application. I want to get into seasoned new agent. And we have a lot of new agents that are coming in right now. So seasoned new agent, do you kind of, and the seasoned new agent, guys, is somebody that writes 6 applications in 6 weeks. They start. This is for new agents, right? And Chris and I were talking about it. We don't have the full breakdown on it just yet, but I just want, Chris, because I want you to just let out what pieces you want to let out at this particular point. But before we get into that, one of the things, for any of you that haven't already heard, Ed Milet is actually going to be at our conference in Denver in September with between 5,000 and 6,000 agents going there. It is going to change the trajectory of your business if you go to engage. So Chris has been working with Ashley Ash, and then for me trying to kind of get in on it as far as what we're doing as a promotion and making it so that there's going to be some incentive to try to get people to engage moving forward. And there shouldn't have to be an incentive. You got Ed Millette going there, and you have the biggest names in Symmetry going there. I call it Symmetry royalty. The people that, everybody knows their name. They're up on stage and they're telling you how to really be successful with this business. There's only been one, and it was because of illness in a situation that I've ever missed. I've always been to them, and they always talk about percentage-wise that if you're at them, how much further along your business grows, number one, and that you stay because you get the fire. Had I not gone to that first one in Knoxville back in 21, I wouldn't have got Brian on board. He had no idea what in the world are you doing? This is not like any other business we've ever done. Got him to the conference, got him engaged, and then it was like, we got to go. We got to get home. We have to get this thing now that I understand what it is. So we're on these Zoom calls, but when you're there, the association, the connections, the relationships that you build is just off the charts. Chris, I kind of want you to add to that as far as what you're thinking and what you'd kind of like people to know at this point.
Well, I mean, you summarized beautifully what conference is. Conference is literally the make or break in this business. I mean, statistically, we know for new agents, if you don't attend the next major event, the next major conference, your odds of being at the next one 6 months later, you have about an 8% chance of being around. So to reverse that 92% chance of being gone. It's that impactful. But to your point, people who have been here who miss a conference, typically what we see is their business, as long as they can tough it out to the next one, their business remains flat for that next 6 months. They just don't grow. People that go, grow. Now, I'm going to circle back on something. You're talking about Ed Millette. Yeah. Guys, let me tell you how powerful this is to have somebody like Ed Millette, because in 2018 or early 2019, I forget the exact date, we had John Maxwell was our keynote speaker. And in fact, there were several people on Wednesday that referenced that interview that Ed Millette did with John Maxwell here about a month ago. But we had John Maxwell at our conference. I was sitting front and center about 2 rows back. Got to see John Maxwell. I actually got to go do a dinner. He was gracious enough to take pictures with us, sign some books. I got a couple of books signed. But all that being said, what that did for our business in that next year, guys, as good as conference was, that event catapulted us over that next year. Our business jumped exponentially. Now, I don't know what it is. A conference, like I said, we see people go to conference. We see them double, triple, quadruple their business. Just in personal writing, we've seen agencies grow and scale by 50 to 100% in the next 6 months after going to conference. But there was something about having that level of speaker, not just speaker, but somebody that coaches and trains on mindset, on leadership, on growth, on personal growth, and having that person and being in the room. We can all go online. We can listen to them. We can listen to their speeches. We can listen to their interviews, but being there in the room, and I don't care if you're on the back row, up in the nosebleeds, being there live is different. Kind of like going to a concert. You listen to the radio and people that go to a live event. Man, that was amazing. That was so wild. That was so amazing. It's the same thing. Seeing Ed Millette live in person, I am pumped. I am excited. And again, to several people who have made the point, seeing him for $219 is unheard of, because Ed Millette's events are not cheap. They are substantially more expensive than that. Our company is eating the cost. Keep in mind, this has not been, in fact, I was on the call about a month ago or 6 weeks ago that was proposed as a potential speaker. This has come together very, very quickly. And, so we were on that call where several of us, I thumbs up that big time, but several of us, they were asking, like, guys, what do you think about bringing in a speaker? Ed Millette was the number one request. And that's not cheap. But what have you seen? Symmetry has not raised the ticket prices. They haven't come back to us, the agency owners, to say, hey, guys, you got to chip in more on your owner's codes. They're eating it because they know they saw it with John Maxwell in 2018, 2019. They know what this is going to do for your business. So don't think we're here to sell tickets to make money, because trust me, Symmetry's not making money. I'm not making money. Sean's not. Nobody's making money here. We do this for you and for your business. So we get passionate about this because we see when people go to these events, their businesses take off. When they don't, they wither and die. That's it, bottom line. And if you think you're going to beat the odds, good luck to you. But I feel we truly feel sad when somebody makes the decision to not invest in themselves.
I want to add to what you said. So we're talking about you going. Casey, which is one of the founders of this company, they broke it down and did percentages and numbers. For every 10 people that you bring to conference with you, that's $50,000 more per month as an agency for you. Your agency will be making $50,000 per month for every 10 people you bring. They broke down the numbers. So that think about that for a moment. That's $600,000 more per year for every 10 people that you bring to conference with you. So start breaking the numbers down. That's why people in the conference, there's a gentleman by the name that you guys, some of you don't know. His name is Marshall Wayland. What's his bonus check? $180,000 a month equity bonus check. He's got 1,500 people plus now in his agency. And the one thing you'll hear him say over and over and over and over is butts and seats. So it's another part of building your business. We were talking about building your business. This is a part of it. If you're wanting to recruit and bring people in and build your own agency, to start, they're training everybody. That's the biggest thing. So people will always think about themselves. Well, I don't need to do this, or I don't need to do that. But it's not about you. This business is about this is an us and we business. You cannot build this thing to the top by yourself. You've got to bring people along with you to be able to do it. So think about that. For every 10 that you bring along with you, that's another $50,000 a month on average for your business. Envision if for a moment, if you had $50,000 per month running through your business and getting an average of 20 or 25% of that for yourself, per 10 people that you bring. So it's just like Chris said, this isn't about us just trying to sell a ticket. It's about you now building your agency. So when you go, it's about you building your agency and building it to where you want to build it. Get plugged in. Why do they call it engaged? It's because we need to be engaged in accountability. We need to be engaged in Wendy dialing. We need to be engaged in going to the conferences. We need to be engaged in going to events and asking for referrals. But that's what today I wanted it to be, is about people understanding the things that you can do. And these are everyday things. Envision if you worked your schedule today, like you work your schedule, working for somebody else, getting up and traveling and doing it for yourself, you will win here. Chris, do you want to add anything else to that before we do a Q&A? Just see if anybody's got any questions today.
That's good.
It's good. Okay. Anybody have any questions for us about what we went over today, or off the wall, anything that Brian always gets after me, making sure that we leave enough time for anybody that has any questions or anything, making sure that we're helping everybody. And if nobody has any questions, the thing that I do want to say is I appreciate you all being here today. This is Monday, and 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you're showing up for your business, you're showing up for us, and we really, really appreciate that. This room is continuing to grow, and we look forward to seeing everybody getting into that accountability. So let's get everybody in there tomorrow. All right. Chris is jumping out on us. All right, guys. Good to see everybody. Everybody have a great evening.